Okay, so my name is Leah Bailey, and I am a director on the board of Farms International, and I'm from Two Harbors, Minnesota. And I am so grateful to be the daughter of the previous executive director, and his name is Joe Richter, and he's a huge inspiration to me, and the reason that I'm on the board, because I wanted to ensure that all of the hard work that he had started doing in this ministry 25 years ago would continue.
What impact has growing up into it, so 25 years,
Yeah.
dad, mom, let's be fair, so what impact did you see personally in your own life growing up? What
Yeah.
impact did you see in your own life? How did that impact your life?
So my impact growing up with with my dad as the executive director of Farms was a blessed childhood, because I got to experience all of the good things that God was doing around the world, and I got to travel with them, and so I got to see a lot of the hard things and a lot of the joy that people have, and that has given me a lot of joy, and my heart has been expanded because I was able to see the joy in other Christians, and Christians that didn't have anything, and they were just like living day to day, $10 a day, or back then it was even less, but they would give us their last eggs with joy, like, here, you're our guest and we love you. And so that has taught me so much, and I've gotten to see almost every country in Asia. 30 more countries, traveled in South America, traveled all over the place, and so that was just a cool thing. And my parents have taught me to be quiet when I need to be quiet, and as I get older, I just keep talking more and more. So I'm undoing some of that, because when they were doing their trainings and stuff, I'd have to sit and listen. So they would bring me along when they were starting a committee, and I could sit usually by the table, and they would let me, so I could see it. And then we would go back and visit, and I would see people that had no floor in their house and leaks in their roof in their little bamboo huts. And we would go back 2 years later, and they would have a floor in their house. And because of the impact that Farms has made in their life. And so they were joyful when they had 2 last eggs to give us. But then they were grateful when we would go back and we would see the impact that it made in their lives. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a great, sets Farms apart from everything else. Why should someone get involved in support Farms?
Yeah, it's personal dignity. The reason that you should be interested in Farms or be interested in what is different about Farms is because Farms cares about the person. And so it's just the deep heart in not pushing that person down. It's elevating them so they can do the things that they need to do themselves to get out of poverty. We give people the tools and the finances to work their way out of poverty. We don't give someone an open hand. It's something that you do the work in. I think that's one of the biggest things that I see. That's the difference. And I think that gives people a lot of joy and a lot of, doesn't it feel good to do a good job? Not just get a handout. Okay.
Yes, a sense of pride, a sense of, like you said, dignity.
Yes.
And I think that's like a specific story that is just has really impacted the way your outlook in your own life.
Oh, yeah, so many. Let me just think of something specific. I'm sorry. I think of generally all of the, just like the father feeding his own family. I just can't even get over that. And that has happened many times where he, was worried where the next meal would come from, and then and now he can provide, and he's for his family. It's like, but specifically, I'm trying to think of. Well, okay, so let's just go back to the beginning of my dad's. Okay, so my dad started out as a missionary in the Philippines in training a Bible school, and so training young men, but then he also was teaching them fish farming, and farms was a part of that, in giving loans to these men because they wanted to learn the Bible and they wanted to grow in faith, and they also wanted to provide for their family. And so he would teach them some fish farming, and they had loans, and they were doing all of these things. Well, now those men, this program has actually graduated and now no longer needs funds from farms, actually gave money back to hopefully start a new program. But these men have continued to go on planting churches and have used this biblical stewardship model throughout their lives in their communities for 30 years. It's been a pretty cool trip to see now. The little grandkids are going to be going to school, and the kids of the church planters have graduated college, which was never expected of them, and they have opportunities upon opportunities that they would have only been rice farmers or something like that, and now they have anything, they can do anything. What brings me joy is seeing people have dignity and passing that on to the next generation so that they get the education and they have the opportunities that the previous generation didn't have.